Okay.
There we go. I'm gonna turn my camera off so I'm not on it though. So I just want Malik on it.
Okay.
There we go. So yeah, I wanted to, have this just conversation so that, like you said, the voice of the children needs to be told, and their experience. And so, Malik, I just wanted to have the opportunity, one, to just meet you and to hear your story, and from your eyes and your lens, because that's extremely important. So I want you to I'll let you lead, like when it comes to like whatever it is that you feel is on your heart to talk about. But I just wanted to start from like the beginning, and to talk about life before CPS, like the first time before you even met any CPS worker or knew anything about CPS, kind of just how life was going.
Yeah. Um, I would say about like a life before what happened in December.
So that,
Yes.
yeah, it was good. It was building and stuff. We
Mm-hmm.
we had took apart this tree house and we was making a kitchen out of it. So we was doing stuff like that, and we was really just bonding for real.
Okay, so you just bonding. So tell me about the first time that you met a CPS worker.
I don't remember when it was, but it was
Mhm.
before the incident happened in December. She just came
Okay.
to us like check and see if we had any bruises on us or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was at my grandmother's house,
Okay. Okay. And where were you? So you said you were at your grandmother's house. Is that in North Carolina or in Oklahoma?
it is in North Carolina.
In North Carolina. Okay. And then you said you saw the social worker, and then something, and then December happened. So tell me about December.
Uh, well, it was a normal day for us. For I was finna go I was getting ready to go to practice. Then they had all came. It was like I don't remember the number, but it was a whole bunch of police officers. They carrying guns and stuff like that. I remember Todd had got arrested, and they was just we I was in the house watching my little siblings, and my mom and Todd was out there talking to them. Then they came in. They was asking us questions like, do we want to stay and stuff like that. And we was telling them yeah, but they still wasn't listening.
Mm-hmm. And then what happened? Once they weren't
They,
listening, they came in the house, and then what happened?
uh, I remember they had they just took us in the car. They had took my mom's purse and her keys, so she couldn't get nowhere. And then they had took us to this I guess it was to their building or something, their holding room or something like that. And we were sitting there for a couple hours. They had bought us some food and stuff like that. And then they took us to my grandmother's house.
Okay. Did they tell you anything or tell you why you were leaving your mom's house?
Basically, she said it was unsafe for us to live in that type of condition. Basically, what they was saying.
And at that moment, did you agree with their decision as, a child, and, the one living it?
I don't know. I felt we was safe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And were you ever given the opportunity to like speak to the social worker? I know you said that you told them that you wanted to stay, but what about when you guys were like at that locations, like for hours? Did anybody talk to you again about like you staying with your mom or going with your grandmother?
Yes. It was this guy. I forgot his name. He was just asking us a whole bunch of questions like about how we used to stay with our grandmother and stuff like that. Like he was just basically telling me how the place was unfit according to their guidelines and their rules and stuff like that. But I was just like, all right, but we already told you and we felt safe. We wanted to stay. They were like, but according to our guidelines, gotta look, we gotta go.
Remember when you were talking to me and they took your phone?
Mhm.
Tell her about that as well as Muhammad when that dude said that.
Well, yeah, they had taken my phone because my mom. They said my mom kept calling and harassing us, but my little siblings wanted to talk to her, so I couldn't see how they take the phone like that. And then the same guy that was asking us questions, he was had Hamid on his lap, just taking selfies with him and stuff like that, or the baby, the youngest.
Mm-hmm. And tell her about how at the point when you got your phone back, how she remember how she went about to me. You don't remember when you got your phone back? You don't remember when you said she almost pretended like she forgot to give it to you until you were in the car. And then
Oh yeah, I wrote the dude. Oh well, yeah, she did had given me my phone back, but that was later on, like I'd say like an hour 30 minutes later after that. So I couldn't have no conversation with my mom. Tell her where we was at, make sure tell her that we was safe and stuff. And then we had when we was on the way to going to my grandmother's house, she had gave it to me in the car, and she had like act like we forgot it, act like she had forgot to give it to me and stuff like that.
Okay. And so once you got to your grandmother's house, tell me how that was once you got there. That first day when you got there.
I left something out about with the cops because I had rolled with this female cop to the
Mm-hmm.
I had rolled with this female cop down the street because the CPS worker they had two cars, but they only brought one to our house, and they left the other car down the street. So I had rode with the cop to down the street where they left the other car, and I had got in it. On the way there, the cop was saying, she was like, I don't understand how CPS could does this. Like they leave the kids alone with the parents that don't take care of them, but then they take the kids that with the parents that do take care of them and teach them value and stuff like that. So I was
Mm.
understanding like how she could just let it happen. She the authority.
What was your response when she like? Did you say anything when she said that? Did y'all have a conversation, or was she just like doing the talking?
Yeah, I wasn't talking to them. I ain't saying nothing.
Okay. Okay. And then so when you got to your grandmother's house, how was that? Like when
Uh,
you got there?
we had got there. I made a sandwich. I remember some of the kids was hungry, so we fixed them like a peanut butter sandwich, and then we put our bags and stuff in the rooms and stuff, and then
you remember what time it was when you got there?
I texted you, but I don't remember what time. But so yeah, we were just settled down. We just I guess the kids was in the living room watching a movie or something with my grandma, and me and my two brothers. We was in the room. We was in the room. We was watching anime. And then I guess later on, like it was had to be before 11 because that's what time my granddad got off. But my granddad got off. He came in the room. He was like, he told Corey, well, my brother is my stepbrother. He never met him. So he came in the room. He was like, he didn't even greet him. He was just like, this is my house. My name William. Disrespectful and stuff like that. Just come in there. He was like, so he told all he like, y'all stink. Y'all need to take a shower. He left. I, was like, I ain't seen him in a couple months. He ain't even say hey or nothing. He was just rude, no reason. But
Tell her about the worker. And what it was, remember they had a conversation. The worker and you need to have a conversation. Like, mm-hmm. And she told her she had my keys in hers. Mm-hmm.
kind of do, but not really though. But I was in and out. Um, it was just I guess it was chill for a couple of days, and then because I usually talk to my grandma, but I ain't really had nothing to say to her because I knew it would be she was the reason why we was in that situation. So I couldn't even really say nothing to her. And then I guess a couple of days she came in there and started talking to me and stuff like she was like she's disappointed in me because she thought I was loyal to her instead of my mother and stuff like that. And I was just being quiet. I ain't really had nothing to say to her because like I'm not. Why would I choose between you and my mom? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And yeah, she was just basically telling me like if I didn't, she was trying to basically get me to stay because I told her I was trying to go back home and stuff like that, and how I wanted, how I was in boxing class and stuff, and she was like, she was just trying to persuade me to stay. Like, what if we put you in classes down here? Would you stay? She had my aunt call me and tell me the same thing, and basically she was just saying like if I didn't want to go to school or anything like that, I could have just told her that and she could have just we could have did something like I could have got a job or something. She was just trying to persuade me to stay. I wasn't trying to hear it for real. Then she had bed bugs that she had got mad at me for telling my mom that she had bed bugs.
What did she, when you say she got mad at you, what did she do when she got mad at you?
She was like, she had called me. She was like, I'm disappointed in you. Like, why would you tell your mom I had bed bugs and stuff like that? She was like, it was like that hurt me. And I was like, I wasn't even like that because I was on the phone with my mom and then I had seen one crawling, and then I had looked it up and it was a bed bug. And I showed my mom because she happened to be on the phone. But if she was my grandma was on the phone, I would have told her about it. But I did had told her about it. I was telling her because the CPS worker had came there, he was asking us questions, and man, that before he had came, she was cleaning up, and I had told her I was like, I think there's bed bugs. She was like, nah, we don't have bed bugs because if she did, she would have known. She was like, she been getting bit too, but it's not bed bugs. So I tried to tell her, but she wasn't listening. So
Did you so when the CPS worker came to the house, like how were those visits when they would come check on you guys at your grandmother's house?
I think it was only one time. It was only one person that had came, but I mean, I guess he was just asking us questions. He was pretty chill. He didn't really do anything.
Okay. And then what about so tell me about going back with your mom. Like how did that happen?
Um, you talking about the day or like how did she get us back?
Yeah, like through your eyes, like what were you told? Like how did that happen for you? Like when you left your grandmother's house to go back to your mom's house, like what did somebody tell you before it was happening, or did it just happen? Like how was that for you?
Well, first my grandmother had told me, no, I had talked to my mom and she was like, she was told me to pray that because she had court that day. And then she had later on she had called me and she was like, we won. And then my grandmother said that my mom's had got custody, but she gotta do a whole bunch of like stuff. She gotta like rebuild the house or something like that. And then she was telling me, she was like, that we're gonna be staying in hotels for like the next 6 months. And then Elijah had came. You don't know Elijah?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the kid's father had came. Well, my five little siblings' father had came, and then he just took him. And my sister had came upstairs. She was like, Elijah's here, Elijah's here. She was like, she wasn't trying to go. She was all scared and stuff. And then I went downstairs to see, and then my grandma said she was like, there's nothing she could do. That's their dad. But like the whole situation with my grandma is like she couldn't then let him in and stuff. Like she didn't have to let him in just how she didn't do with my mom. So I was understanding like what you mean. That's their dad. And then so they had left, and then me and my two brothers, we were still at the house. We were just waiting on my mom to come pick us up. And I forgot what time it was, but they came at like it was like 9, 10. Yeah, it was around 9 when my mom came to pick me up, and then she was just telling us like we was just trying to figure out where the kids was. Then we went back home. I guess we were just planning to come down to Oklahoma to find the kids.
Okay. Can you move over a little bit? Cause like a little bit of, there you go. There. All right. So how did that make you feel? Like when he came to get your siblings and the fact that now like you guys, like you're separated from your siblings, how did that make you feel?
I mean, how you said how did it or how does it?
Well, how did it make you feel like when it first happened? Like when he came and you guys were like looking for your siblings, and then like today, like how does that make you feel in regards to being separated from your siblings?
Well, and then I was like, I was confused. I was like I was confused and mad because I was like, why would she just let him go with him, knowing? Because we stayed with my grandmother for like 2 3 years because of him like abusing and stuff, and I just didn't want to deal with all the drama that he had came with. So I moved with my grandmother. Then that day she just let him go with him. I'm like, but you know how he acts, so like why would you put him in harm's way like that? 'Cause, yeah, and she had we was staying with my grandmother for 2 years before that, and she had put my mom like because we would stay there, and she didn't want her to come on property and stuff, try to get us. But I was disappointed. I was like, how you just gonna let him take her? And now I found out that they was working together. My grandmother and Elijah was working together to get the kids. So that I can't even really don't have nothing to say to my grandma right now.
And what about now? How does it feel to be without your siblings right now?
I mean, it still feel the same for us. Like it like can't even protect him because he's uncontrollable. He get past what 10, 17 years, just been doing hitting people like for no reason, just anger management problems and stuff like that. So I'm like, feel me, I can't be there to protect your siblings.
Do you feel like CPS has ever protected you or your siblings?
Me personally, no.
No. Okay.
And yeah, some situations I feel like they put me in more in danger.
Tell me about that. What are those situations?
It's how they had came to our house with all them. They had like 3 5 or 3 guns. Like, but we just kids. Like, why you need to bring guns for? That don't even make any sense. That one mostly reason. It just didn't even make any sense to me. Like we're kids. Like we're not even doing that. Like what you need to bring guns. Like forcefully take that stuff. Like, of course we're gonna go with you. You got guns. Like
What were your like younger siblings? I know like you're older, and like how were they, like their reaction to seeing all of these cops at the house with guns? Was anybody like crying or like upset when this was happening?
I mean, they was just. I feel like they was just in shock because I remember my the second to youngest sibling said they have guns. It was just like because we all playful and stuff, so they didn't really take it as how serious it actually was. They was just playing with it. We try to keep it like light spirits and their happy spirits and stuff. We didn't really nobody was all sad and stuff. But when we did get to the little facility, they was sad. It was like I want to go home, miss mama and stuff. I remember my one of my siblings had drew a picture of her and mama. She was like, "Do you think we ever gonna go back home?" I was like, "Yeah, we are."
Okay. Is there anything else that like any moments that stick out in your mind as relates to like this experience that you had? Any moments that just make you like question, like, what is this? Or why am I going, like, why was I going through this? Like, any moments that stick out in your head?
Me personally, no, because I feel like I understand why we going through it, because what we was doing was powerful. Like, you don't really see that many people owning their own land and building stuff. Like, we was homeschooled and stuff like that, teaching like values and morals and stuff. You don't really see people doing that, so I can understand why they wouldn't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It just is evil, but I can understand why how they wouldn't want that to want us to succeed and stuff like that.
And so, other teenagers or other kids that are going through a similar situation, right? They with CPS, or CPS taking them away. What advice would you give them to, be able to stay strong through what they're going through?
I just say stay hopeful, stay on your P's and Q's. Like, good always prevails. So whatever the evil is not gonna win. Just gotta stay strong. I just say just think about the good things in life.
And if a CPS worker was watching, this video right now, like, somebody that's still, a CPS worker still doing this job, what's a message that you would give to them as a youth, as somebody that's felt this? Like, what would you tell them to help them wake up to see the impact that they have on children?
Or to say tighten up, you gotta check your peers and just listen to the kids. Like, they're the ones who's going through it. That's really what I say. Listen to the kids.
Listen to them. Because you just wanted you felt like you were safe when they took you away.
You said what?
You felt you were safe, right? You told them you were safe and wanted to be at home, and they didn't listen to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Anything else that you're thinking, or Ms. Muhammad? Anything else that you think we should pull out, or anything else in regards to, you guys' experiences that you think that needs to be told?
I was gonna say that now, like how they're treating us now, how good we're thinking. So, yeah, like not like you have to tell everything, but just how it makes you
Well, I got two things. Well, the first one is I feel like they CPS shouldn't get paid for none of this stuff that they're doing, because at my grandmother's house they was talking about, like, it was like my grandmother was like, how she gonna do it and stuff like that. She was always complaining about the money, but then I feel like it was just like a business move that they had between them. That's how I personally seen it. So we're like, I know that they get money for putting kids in foster care. I know that. And then two is the situation that we going through right now. The court system is trying to get them back. It's it's really unfair. It's like they have this little game going on that they play with people's lives, but it's people's lives that they playing with. It is them. It's really sad to where, like, they don't have no soul. Like, you say they say they thinking for doing it for the kids, but they really putting the kids in harm's way.
And if you could just say your name, how old you are, and that, I'm trying to think what I want you to say. So your name, how old you are, and let's see, CPS has traumatized my family. And you can say that like strong, and then because that'll be the beginning of the video. Just your name, your age, and CPS has traumatized my family.
You want the full name or just my first?
What'd your mom say?
Said first.
Yeah, first is fine.
All right, my name is Malik. I'm 17 years old, and CPS has traumatized my family.
All right, cool. All right, before anything else, before we end the recording.
Mm-hmm.
You want to say that again? You said that's gonna be because you coming.
Yeah.
All right.
My name is Malik. I'm 17 years old, and CPS has traumatized my family.
Cool.
Okay.
And will you be able to save that and then just send me the recording?
Yes. And then, my other son, maybe you can talk to him tomorrow or some other time. I know you said you have a call at
7:30.
30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk to him another time?
We could possibly get it in like 15, 20 minutes, you think?
Yeah, because he probably not gonna really want to talk that much. He's less talkative. So
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
okay, let me go get him.
Okay. Thank you, Malik.
You welcome.
Come sit right here. Can you hear us, Amanda? I see your phone muted or your video.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. He was supposed to be near the house, but he went all the way down the street. So.
Oh, okay. So we interrupted his time.
Yeah, he has lots of friends. He's that type of person. So, all right. Okay, get in the camera.
Hello. You got some camera shy. Camera shy.
You're going the wrong way. You're supposed to be going.
Exactly. This is the void. I have to be in the camera.
Yes, get in the camera. And like you don't think you God's gift.
Right, we want to see you.
He ain't got no other worries about Snapchat and all that.
All right, there we go. We can see you now. There you go. I'm Amanda. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is Makai.
Makai, okay. And so I wanted to talk with you because I believe your voice is very important, right? Like what has happened to you and your family, and how you see it through your eyes, right? Because as adults, you know, we think of things and, you know, but again, how has this affected you? And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. And just kind of taking you through that experience with CPS and how it's affected your life. All right.
No, you don't. Say okay.
Okay. So let me know when y'all are ready.
Can you hear him? He said he's ready.
You ready? Okay. Cool. So can you move over a little bit to that? There we go. Perfect. All right. So if you could start out by saying your name, how old you are, and say CPS has traumatized my family. If you could just look in the camera and say your name, age, and CPS has traumatized my family.
My name is Makai, 15, and CPS has traumatized my family.
Okay. And so can you talk to me a little bit about how, you know, you were living life before CPS ever came to, you know, your life or knocked on your door in December? Can you tell me a little bit about like what you guys were doing, how you were living your life?
We were chilling, having fun, dancing, yeah, just chilling, having fun.
And then, so then tell me about that night, well, that day in December when CPS came to your house. Tell me like the first thing you remember and then walk me through everything that happened that day.
First thing I remember is there was a whole bunch of cop cars and stuff outside, and then Todd had went up there to talk to them, and then there was these people, and they surrounded the house with guns and stuff.
Okay, and then what happened?
And then, like they had took Todd to jail, and then they came and searched through the house and started talking to us.
Do you remember who talked to you? Or like, was it an officer or was it a CPS worker?
It was a CPS worker, I think. Yeah, it was a CPS worker.
Okay. And do you remember like in that conversation, did they ask you if you felt safe and if you wanted to stay with your mom?
They didn't ask me that. I don't think. They just
Actually, yeah. They asked, do we feel safe? Was there any weapons? And do we want to stay?
And how was that conversation? Like, do you remember what you said during that conversation?
Um, I don't remember what I said. But I told them there's no weapons. And yeah, I don't remember what I said.
Okay. And then what happened? Like after you talked to after everybody talked to the CPS workers, what happened then?
They had packed up our stuff, or they told us to pack our clothes, and then we got in the car and went to their CPS place, and we stayed there for a few hours.
And when did someone tell you why you couldn't stay with your mom?
They never were. They never told us that, or they never told me that. I don't know that.
Okay, so at what point did you know that you couldn't stay with your mom and that you had to go with your grandmother?
Oh yeah, they had they had pulled us in rooms and they were talking to us, and they told us that we were going to stay with our grandma.
And how did you feel about that when they told you that?
Mm, I don't. I just. I don't really know because they had took the keys to mom's car and her purse, I think too, and they had just said that we couldn't go there. We had to go to our grandma.
Okay. And so when you got to your grandmother's house, tell me how that went.
It was alright because I had all my little siblings there, and yeah, I had all my siblings there.
And do you remember like CPS coming out and talking with you, like when you was at your grandmother's house?
Yeah, and they told dad came and talked to us, and they had told us I forgot. Dad came and talked to us, a few of them, a few times. Then they told us to make Christmas list or something for what we wanted.
So you guys are at your grandmother's house. You guys settled in there, and then tell me about going back with mom and finding out that you were gonna go back and stay with your mom. Tell me about how you found out and how that happened.
Oh, we I don't really remember how it happened. I just know like dad told us, or my grandma had told us that we were going back to stay with our mom, and then Elijah that came and took the younger kids, and then mama had came shortly after.
And how did you feel when Elijah came to take your younger siblings?
Um, I felt like that wasn't a good idea because, first, or how I figured it out was I was going to take the trash out, and then I opened the garage. I saw Elijah there, and I don't even know. And then he had just took the kids and drove away.
Did you have any worries for your siblings when they left with?
Yeah.
Talk to me about that. What were your worries?
I didn't really think they were gonna be safe, and I didn't know where they were gonna be going, and I didn't know if I was gonna see them again.
Have you seen your siblings since then?
Uh, yeah, we have we got to visit them, but not for long.
And how does that make you feel?
I feel like we should be able to see them for much longer, and I feel like they should be able to.
Mhm. Do you feel that CPS helped your family or did they hurt your family?
I feel like they hurt my family because they like they helped Elijah get the kids when he's not suited to have the kids.
And what's your understanding of why this happened? Like, why did CPS even come into your life? Do you know why?
Feel like they might, or I feel like they might have done it for more money because, like, I feel like Elijah might be paying them more for this to happen because there'll be no other way he could get the kids if he wasn't paying them.
And so if another child was watching this right now and they were going through what you went through, right, with CPS, what advice would you give them, like, to get through it and to be strong?
Um, I'll tell them to like not be afraid to speak up and like try your best. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be
And oh,
don't be afraid to speak up about like how everything's going and like I don't know.
and if a CPS worker, right, was watching this and they didn't know that what they were doing was hurting families, what advice would you give them as a child who has been hurt by this system? Like, what advice would you give a CPS worker right now?
I would tell them to do better and like I tell them to speak up too because if you didn't know and now you do, you should go talk to somebody. Like try to tell the world what's happening and try to find a way to fix it.
Is there anything else that you want to say, or any other moments that were really hard for you or you feel were traumatizing to you throughout this process?
Yeah, because like, by coming down here, I don't really get to see many of the friends that I had back in South Carolina. So that's kind of like, 'cause I kind of like, I want to go back and see them, but now I can't because we're down here trying to get the kids back.
So you just want to move on with your life and get back to what you were doing before?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I appreciate you talking to me, and let me know how you feel about this, because what you have to say is very important.
Thank
Thank you.
Thank you. I got this all of just minutes. Yeah, they're gonna talk to this investigative reporter in about 45 minutes. So
Perfect. So yeah, if you will just either email this recording, or if you like upload it to a Google Drive and then share it with us, however it works best.
okay.
All right. And then I'll get it edited and I'll send it to you before like we post anything.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.